ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
Breaking news, multiple people are dead tonight after a crash near SeaWorld San Diego. Fire crews had to use the jaws of life after a car crashed into a pole. It happened near the intersection of SeaWorld Way and South Shores Road, right next to the theme park. Police have closed down traffic up to SeaWorld Drive and Friars Road. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News breaking news tracker Paul Anderegg is there live at this gruesome scene. Paul?
You can see the police activity here at SeaWorld Drive and SeaWorld Way. This would be where the exit to SeaWorld is. This accident happened around 9:30 tonight. You can see the police activity. The road is closed between SeaWorld and Ingram in both directions. Now, from the angle we have here, you can see that pickup truck, those taillights of the pickup truck here to the left of those officers. That's where police and fire department found 4 people trapped, unresponsive, not breathing in that truck. Rescue crews had to use the jaws of life. They were able to rescue several of those people and transport them to the hospital, but we are told at least 2 of them at this point have died of their injuries here on scene. We're waiting to hear more information about what possibly caused this accident and the condition of those remaining victims. There are some family members on scene. Obviously a very distraught scene here in sight here on SeaWorld Drive. We're going to stay on scene, continue to bring you updates on ABC 10 News this morning. Back to you.
Public outcry following a deadly officer-involved shooting in Escondido. A man carrying a metal pole killed after a confrontation with police. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is in Escondido, where tonight the police chief shared more about the incident.
A group of people demonstrated outside the Escondido Police Department. They believe that the situation could have been de-escalated. Now, the police have not yet released the body cam video, but have given more information as to what led up to the shooting.
What do we do? Stand up, fight back!
More than 24 people directed their frustration at Escondido police Wednesday following a deadly officer-involved shooting. The shooting happened in the area of 2nd Avenue and Broadway following a confrontation with an officer and a man carrying a metal pole.
From what I see, if it was just a metal pole, I do believe it could be de-escalated.
Liel Molave is with We the People Escondido, the group that organized the rally outside the Escondido Police Department. She wants the officer's name released, along with the body camera video.
We're here asking for full transparency with EPD.
The Escondido police chief released a video statement around 6 p.m. Wednesday, giving more details on what led up to the shooting. He says it all started a little after 7 a.m.
Our communications center received reports of an adult white male hitting cars with a metal pole.
The chief says there were 2 encounters with the man. The first officer made contact with the man and asked him to drop the metal pole, but the man took off. Soon after, another officer saw the man and made contact. The chief says this time the man advanced at the officer while holding the metal object in a threatening manner.
The officer gave multiple commands to drop the tool, as well as several use of force warnings. The male continued to advance on the officer, who was backing away, and he was ultimately shot.
Police have not released the man's name, but believe he is homeless, and they've had past encounters with him. The chief says the man has been booked into jail 188 times since 2002 for things like violent assaults, parole violations, drug charges, and vandalism.
Our psychiatric emergency response team has attempted on numerous occasions to place him in mental health support system without success. In fact, just this year, we have already responded to over 20 calls for service involving this individual.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
The police chief says the incident is being reviewed by the district attorney, the U.S. attorney, and the FBI. It will also be reviewed internally. The chief says they will release portions of the body camera video as soon as possible.
And there was another rally tonight, this one in North Park. Activist groups gathered at North Park Community Park. Organizers tell us they're celebrating the verdict in the George Floyd case, but they're also protesting other acts of what they call police terror. They're including the officer-involved shooting in Escondido. Organizers are calling for the defunding and demilitarizing of police.
I was like, oh man, what am I gonna find?
Rushing to the rescue, we are hearing tonight from the man who ran down a Carlsbad cliff to help rescue a driver who lost control and then plunged into the ocean. As our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us, that Good Samaritan just happened to have decades of experience.
The man who jumped in to help was on his way to the Carlsbad strawberry fields with his wife. When he saw the car in the air, he says he knew exactly what to do.
When we saw the vehicle go over the ledge, you could see vehicle, sky, ocean, a cliff. That's how high he flew up in the air.
This is video of the moment William Schulberg and several others rushed to help a man who'd just driven off a Carlsbad cliff.
And then I saw a crevice in the cliff there, so I started climbing down the rocks and got over to him.
Rushing down the steep cliff to see if anyone had made it out alive. As he got closer, he realized the driver, a man in his 60s, was conscious and moving, trapped as the tide was rising.
And thinking I would have to cut him out of his seatbelt harness, and so I started trying to get him up and his head up out of the water and him out of the water.
As first responders arrived, it became a team effort. While some fought to hold the car, a police officer is seen trying to smash the car's window.
As he climbed up in there and got the guy out, along with myself helping to pull him out, and the other police guys were holding the car so it wouldn't get further out into the ocean.
The man rushed to the hospital with possible injuries to his legs, pelvis, and chest. Schulberg, no stranger to rescues. He's a retired Navy corpsman with over 30 years of experience who served on search and rescue teams.
We're not heroes. We're just people that sometimes are stuck at the right place at the right time for sometimes all the wrong reasons.
The exact cause of the accident is still under investigation. Fire officials believe it was likely distracted driving. Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
Meteorologist Angelica Campos is joining us with more on the rain that we saw today. Angelica.
Hi, Kim. Everything was so light, but it was definitely enough to make problems on the roads this morning. And we're expecting similar conditions going into tomorrow. Another change is the winds. The wind advisory has been extended, now in effect until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, still only including our deserts. But the winds have been gusting up to 45 miles per hour, at least over the last several hours. And we're expecting, again, those winds to remain strong overnight. As we look at our pinpoint Doppler live, we're going to show you the areas that are seeing a little bit of moisture. And we've seen this particular area in the North County right along the 15, where it's been active. Everything's in fairly light, but we've seen periods of light spotty showers. Near San Diego is hit or miss. As you make your way over towards La Presa, you see a few chances there as the moisture moves east. We'll see more overnight and certainly a lot more into the early morning commute.
Angelica, thank you. Demand for the COVID-19 vaccine continues to outpace supply in San Diego County, but that could change. Our ABC 10 News reporter Jennifer Dela Cruz explains why we may soon be desperately trying to convince people to get the shot.
Since the vaccine first came out in December, supply has been limited and appointments have been hard to secure.
We have pretty much had 100% uptake of all our available appointments.
Suzanne Shea is a vaccine coordinator for Sharp. She says while they're fully booked for now, that will eventually change.
It will drop off. We will see a drop off. I think the time to worry about vaccination hesitancy is always.
Many people who want the shot have already gotten it or are making their appointments now. Shea says later on, we may see appointments go unclaimed since some people still won't want them. Some sites that have been booked solid for months are already showing more openings. Wednesday morning, CVS pharmacies had available appointments in San Diego and other California cities. Kaiser Permanente had plenty of openings at their Convoy location next week. There are 2.6 million people aged 16 and older in San Diego County, all of which are now eligible for the vaccine. The county's goal is to fully vaccinate at least 75% of those adults. So far, 64% have had one dose, 41% are fully vaccinated. Sharp is working to educate their members and encourage more people to get the shot.
There may be a time where their friends and family who say, well, you're not vaccinated, so you're not invited to the party. I think that'll start to hit home.
Health officials say the vaccine not only protects you, but helps us all get closer to putting COVID-19 in the past.
Unless we reach that herd immunity of 75% or 80% of the population either being immune or vaccinated, we're not going to be back to, what we consider normal life anytime soon.
Jennifer Dela Cruz, ABC 10 News.
The county says it is still seeing high demand for appointments at its sites. Leaders plan to continue fighting vaccine hesitancy through outreach and education.
California's coronavirus case rate is now the lowest in the continental United States. And here at home, the county reported 263 new cases today, while the test positivity rate fell back below 2%. Another 7 San Diegans have lost their lives to COVID, bringing that total to just under 3,700.
Chula Vista police have partnered with the DA, the FBI, and the NCIS to investigate the disappearance of Maya Miliete. The mother of 3 has not been seen for more than 3 months. Her husband was the last person to see her at their home. Her family and the community, they have been out every weekend since to search for her. Chula Vista police say that they have interviewed more than 50 people about Miliete's disappearance and have received dozens of tips, including from law enforcement in other states.